Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with me, Karl Fitzpatrick. Well, my next guest is Edmond Connolly from the Southeast Regional Skills Forum. Edmond, you've joined us this morning to tell us about an event that is happening next Tuesday, which may be of interest to our listeners. But first, remind us about what the Southeast Regional Skills Forum is all about.
Yes, indeed, Karl. The Regional Skills Forum works with industry around the region across various sectors to, first of all, identify their skills and training needs and then support the education and training providers, the likes of our Institutes of Technology and ETBs and SkillNets, to respond to identified skills and training needs. And we do that simply. The forum has representatives from all the colleges and ETBs and SkillNets, but also industry people. There are a number of key people from different sectors on the forum, and they give overall guidance to me as to what I should be doing and what sectors I should be looking at. And I spend my time out and about with industry as best I can to listen to what companies need and then to see can we work on solutions for them.
And what have you been hearing from industry over the year 2019?
Yeah, 2019 has been an interesting year. A number of things come to mind, I suppose. First of all, many companies continue to need to upskill staff in the whole digital arena. I hear companies saying, look, we need to upskill all our staff in various digital matters. So that's a relentless march forward, and companies are trying to embrace that and getting good support from the ETBs in particular and the colleges and SkillNets. So apart from that, companies are finding it a little difficult to get skilled people in, particularly in science, engineering, ICT. People with experience, I suppose in a tight labour market, that's inevitable.
And in terms of the technological university that's been promised for the Southeast, when it eventually does arrive, what difference will it make on the ground here in Wexford?
I think it will make a difference. For instance, a number of employers in Wexford tell me that, it can be sometimes a challenge to attract high quality, high-end personnel to the region, and particularly the multinationals. More practically speaking, a lot of people like to send their sons and daughters to college, to a university, yet we don't have a university in the region. And thirdly, investment decisions by companies is very much influenced by the availability of high-quality third-level education, and that's what a technological university would offer.
Now, of course, over the last number of years, there has been reported skill shortages across the Southeast in areas such as hospitality, science, engineering and IT. Do they continue to be the big problem areas?
I suppose every sector has its own challenges. I would say in its broadest sense, engineering is the one that is the biggest need, because engineering pervades all sectors. ICT is a huge demand for programming software and support skills. That's an ongoing demand. You mentioned the likes of hospitality, yes, chef and culinary skills. Probably the sector is feeling the heat from other sectors that are competing, for that, for people, for talent, and the hospitality sector is a competitive sector. So there's a job of work to be done there too.
And of course, when it comes to further education and training, there is a wide gambit of financial supports available to employers. In that respect, the ETB this year launched their Skills to Advance programme nationwide. Talk to us about that, Edmond.
I think you hit the nail on the head. There's been a huge change in 2019, and the ETBs are at the centre of that. So prior to 2019, they were primarily focused on training people who are job seekers. But from the 1st of January 2019, they have been empowered to provide training for people who are in employment, to upskill people in employment. They can also go into a company and design programs to meet staff training needs. So if there's 3 or 4 companies in an area that need to upskill in a particular discipline, they can design a course So Waterford, Wexford, ETB have been very active in this regard. They've been very focused on the likes of manufacturing, hospitality, the likes of the care profession, call centres and the like, and they're in discussions with all of those sectors.
And of course, SkillNet is another important organisation. SkillNet, of course, works in partnership with 50 industry bodies and enterprise clusters, providing enterprise training to more than 16,000 businesses and upskilling 56,000 workers throughout the country each year. There has been some changes to SkillNet as well this year, I believe.
There is, and all of these programs we're talking about are funded through the National Training Fund, which is employers' money. And that fund has grown. And big change for SkillNet for 2020 is effectively they will be able to provide higher levels of support. But SkillNet are very flexible. They're on the ground, and they're tremendous opportunity for. So I would encourage all local companies to make themselves known to their local SkillNet. So Wexford Chamber SkillNet has an ongoing array of training programs, and they will customise those to suit their company needs.
And of course, in addition to the benefit of funding, one of the other great benefits that Wexford, Waterford, ETB and Wexford Chamber SkillNet can offer is its local training. So the staff of any employer don't have to travel to Dublin or Cork for that particular training.
Yes, that's a good point. And I'm seeing when I'm out and about with companies, you know, they are busy. They're in competitive sectors, and it's not really practical for staff to be accessing training that's too far away, you know, going to Dublin or elsewhere. So being delivered local is a huge benefit. So say, for example, in Wexford, you have Waterford, Wexford, ETB, who have local training centres. IT Carlo have the Wexford campus, and you have Wexford Chamber SkillNet. So there's quite an array of provision that's relatively local, and I think that's to be commended.
And I have to say as well that it's the time of the year that an awful lot of the good employers would be planning ahead for 2020 and scheduling training for relevant staff members that require it. And on that basis, you're holding a very timely event next Tuesday in association with CIPD. Talk to us about that.
Yes, we're doing a sort of end-of-year wrap-up on what's available for employers. So it's titled Discover How You Can Access Funded Training for Your Employees. It takes place next Tuesday in the Greenway Manor Hotel, just near Waterford. It's a lunchtime event, 12 to 2 p.m. And I will have representatives from WIT, IT Carlo, Waterford, Wexford, ETB and SkillNet in attendance for a panel discussion, and I'm going to give some very interesting insights into what has changed in the past 12 months and what companies should be focusing on for 2020. So the purpose of this event is to just bring people up to speed and introduce them to the right education and training providers. It's a free event, and it can be just places are limited, so we've encouraged people to book through Eventbrite. You'll get it on Eventbrite if you search CIPD, and we're offering Christmas lunch as well. So specifically within the organisations themselves, who would you like to see attending on the day? Well, I would like to see HR managers, learning and development, training personnel, or, you know, there are an awful lot of SMEs, small companies out there. The manager or a functional manager, somebody that has responsibility or decision-making in relation to staff training, they should come along, and we'll give you the up-to-date position and introduce you to the right people and point you in the right direction, and also learn a bit from you as well, because we're always interested to hear what's needed on the ground. Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Edmond Connolly from the South East Regional Skills Forum, and I would like to thank Edmond for telling us about next Tuesday's event, something all local employers should be attending.
South East Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
South